The morning began with silence before the killing started. At the base of a jagged ridge on Okinawa, Private First Class Desmond Doss stood among armed soldiers preparing to climb into hell. Above them rose Hacksaw Ridge, a fortress of stone and steel, where Japanese machine guns waited inside hidden bunkers carved into the cliff. Every man climbing those cargo nets knew the odds. Most would never come back down. Doss climbed anyway. He carried no rifle, no pistol, no knife. Only bandages, morphine, and a medic's bag slung across his chest. Around him were men who had once mocked him, cursed him, even threatened his life, because he refused to carry a weapon. They called him weak, cowardly, dangerous to his own unit. But when the first explosions tore across the plateau, it was Doss who ran toward the gunfire. Mortar shells ripped the ground apart. Bullets slashed through smoke and dust as wounded Americans fell across the ridge. One by one, Doss reached them. He crawled through mud and blood, dragging broken bodies out of open fire, pressing bandages into shattered wounds while chaos swallowed the battlefield around him. By nightfall, the American retreat had begun. The order came down fast to fall back, abandon the ridge. But dozens of wounded men were still trapped above. As soldiers climbed down to safety, Desmond Doss stayed behind alone, unarmed, surrounded by enemy patrols moving through the darkness. In his hands was only a rope. At the edge of the cliff, under enemy fire, he tied the knot he had once been mocked for learning. Then he lowered the first wounded man into the darkness below. The rope tightened in Desmond Doss's bleeding hands as the first soldier disappeared into the darkness below. He did not wait to rest. Turning back toward the battlefield, Doss ran once more into the shattered wasteland of Hacksaw Ridge. The plateau was alive with danger, Japanese soldiers moving through tunnels, snipers hidden among broken rocks, patrols searching for survivors. Somewhere in that darkness, wounded Americans cried out for help. Doss followed every voice. Again and again, he found broken men scattered across the ridge, some unconscious, some barely breathing, some too badly wounded to move. Each time, he dragged them to the cliff's edge, tied his double, looped knot beneath their arms and legs, and lowered them down the sheer rock wall one by one. Every descent was a gamble. If the rope slipped, the man would die. If the enemy spotted him, Doss would be shot where he stood. Yet each time he sent another soldier down, he whispered the same prayer into the night. Lord, help me get one more. One more became another, then another. Hours passed. His hands tore open from friction burns. His body weakened from exhaustion. Still, he refused to stop. By dawn, Desmond Doss had lowered 75 wounded men to safety. The soldiers who once called him coward now looked up at the ridge in stunned silence. The man they doubted had done what no armed platoon could accomplish. On that blood-soaked cliff in Okinawa, without firing a single shot, Desmond Doss became a legend. He had entered the battle carrying no weapon. Yet no man on Hacksaw Ridge fought harder to save lives than he did.